I am tired. We're good? We're rolling?
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, we are recording.
Don't say anything crazy.
Dude, I am so tired though today. I have not had enough caffeine.
Oof.
I need, last night was Halloween, right? Today's November 1st. And so we were out trick-or-treating last night. And we got together, just a big group of friends in the neighborhood, and we had a big chili cook-off and whatever. But we had like 40 kids out there. And then we went house to house with my kids. And dude, my son and his buddies were sprinting house to house to house to house. I'm not kidding when they came out with like 15 to 20 pounds of candy.
Yeah, dude. Kids are relentless when it comes to Halloween.
It was insane. Like, and here I am going, hey, okay, we've been out here for like 2 hours. You guys good to go back and we'll just chill, watch the World Series a little bit? And they're like, no, we have this whole other neighborhood we have to go and hit.
Yeah.
And so we had to go and do that more. And so it was insane the amount of candy that they got. And then all the boys come back and they run down to the basement and then they go and trade candy. It's not like they weren't all at the same houses anyways.
No, there's a whole economy for candy.
Well, I need to teach them about taxes.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be...
You got to pay up to the guy that took you to all those houses. Yeah.
It's going to be great. So anyways, I have to go do that. At first, I have to check the candy, make sure there's no razor blades in it.
Oh, yeah. That's where I always lose my razor blades.
Yeah.
Like, man, where did I put that?
Isn't that like the funniest thing is like, yeah, make sure you check your kid's candy.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, am I really going to find like a syringe in there?
I mean, I've never found one, but could I? No.
Oh, crap. There's my Bowie knife.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's my gun. Ugh, I always give it to kindergartners.
Oh, man.
Damn.
Anyways, welcome on into the Big Access podcast. This is Copeland Jenkins.
Right.
He is our UI UX designer over here. What's your official title?
I'm the lead product designer.
Lead product designer.
Yeah.
There you go. So he's on the product team. You guys have seen Brad Baldwin on this podcast before. Cope works directly with him, and Cope does a killer job of helping our product really be the best user experience that we've got.
Yeah. That's just what I like to do. I like to try.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, dude, tell me a little bit about your experience, coming up and getting into UI UX. What made you want to do that? And then how'd you get here to PDK?
Yeah. So UX design is a super interesting field. For those that don't know, it stands for user experience.
Yep.
So it's all about designing and problem solving and kind of creating the best experience for a user. And so we get to do a lot of testing and conversations and interviews with customers and users and stuff, and kind of, find what works and what doesn't. We do a lot of testing, a lot of iterations and stuff. And so, yeah, I was just always kind of into that. When I was a kid, I was into science, I was into design, and it's kind of just the best of both worlds. And so when I was coming up in school, I was really into graphic design and photography. And then I wanted to be a scientist, and I couldn't really decide what I wanted to do.
What type of scientist?
I really wanted to be a biologist.
Really?
Yeah, it was the only class in college I got an A+ in.
Okay.
So yeah, and I was super into it, and then I wanted to keep doing design and creative work and stuff, and yeah, I found out about UX design just kind of randomly, and went to a boot camp, which is a pretty common thing for a lot of people these days, and yeah, it was great. It was super cool. It's the best career I could have chosen for myself.
That's awesome, man. Well, I know for a fact, when you came in, we got to sit down and see all your work and go through everything. We're like, yeah, I think this guy could come in and really make a good impact on PDK. And so far you have.
Oh, thanks.
I've been messing around with a lot of the stuff that you've been doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say that I think our customers are going to love what's coming.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, we've tested it with a lot of people. So we're not just kind of like throwing stuff out there.
Yeah.
This stuff is tried and true. It's stuff that we've given to users and customers and said, hey, break this, honestly. Like, tear it apart, tell us what you think, be honest. And, sometimes the feedback can be kind of brutal and kind of like...
That's what I wanted to... Yeah. That's what I was going to say is, and it's the same when, I'm here on the marketing side of things, because we create stuff all the time. And is it always perfect? Well, I'd like to think so, but it's absolutely not. There is absolutely things where you get feedback back and you're like, you know what? That's a good point.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not something that we should be doing. Maybe that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, you're definitely, when you create something, That's your baby. You love it. And it's never a good thing to hear that people didn't like it or didn't respond how they wanted to.
Yeah, for sure. And that was, that's something I had to learn a lot. But now I love it. It's what I want.
You like that constructive criticism.
I want to hear why I didn't nail it, because I want to give the best experience to our users. And so if I can take that feedback and say, okay, you didn't like this, you didn't like that. Well, let's tweak it. Let's play around with it and send it back out. And it's awesome, because then we know we're failing fast. We're building stuff without code. We're just like, basically they're just graphic designs that they can interact with, prototypes and stuff. And we're able to fail quickly, iterate quickly, and go through what would normally be, 6 weeks of development, we can do in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then it's ready to be developed the right time, the right way the first time.
So how do you go about, after you create something or have this idea to create something, how do you go about finding the right people to go through that process? Yeah.
So that kind of depends on who we're, like designing for, right? If a feature was requested by, say, end users, people that are going to be using PDK to give badges and credentials all day, then we would track them down. We'd go and talk to our customers and use Salesforce or all sorts of kinds of things like that, and then talk to them.
Yeah.
Or if it was for dealers wanting to do installs and things like that, then we would, find the dealers, find the right people, because that is crucial. That is key, And we always make sure that we go outside of PDK to talk to users.
For sure, right? Like, we're all biased in here, right?
And we are not the user,
We're not. Even though I use it all day, every day, we are not the user.
Yeah, and that's something you have to really remember, is you don't want to build something that is just like siloed and you think is really good, or people around you think is really good, and then you put it out in the real world and it's just not it. It doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't work well. People don't know how to use it. They don't understand it. So you got to keep that in mind as you design and build stuff. And so, yeah, we're constantly talking to users and people all day.
That's really cool, dude. Yeah. And ultimately, that's what creates the best experience for everybody, right?
Yeah, definitely. It creates the best experience for all of our users, even the users who we don't get to talk to every day, or, don't even know what a UX designer is. We're doing it for them as well. So.
Well, and one of the things that people love about PDK, and specifically about our software PDK.io, is that it is so intuitive. It's so user friendly. It's a system that somebody who has no experience with access control at all can get in and feel like they understand access control within a matter of 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It flows really well. It was really, put together pretty well. But we definitely, while people have loved it, we've recognized that there's some things that we need to add, and then new features that are all constantly being put out. And every time that we do that, it means that we have to add a little bit to the software. And that's a nerve-wracking moment, right? Because we don't want to go away from what we built and the reason why people love us so much.
Yeah.
So when you run into something like that, what does that task look like when you are trying to make sure that you're not drifting too far away, but you're keeping that same ability, but adding more robustness to it?
Yeah, that was definitely something that we had to be cognizant of while we started building new features and thinking of what the future of PDK would be like, and that was a real tall task. It was no short order to do that with, as a new designer coming in. When you find out that people really love a product, you need to find out why. And so, even like I said, when I'm designing new stuff, refreshing new stuff, or coming up with new features, it's all paramount to talk to the users and see what they think. Why do they like it? Why don't they like it? What about it makes them tick, kind of thing. And so, yeah, it's really important to find out, for example, users love how easy and simple PDK is to learn.
Yeah.
And so that was one thing that we had to be aware of as we're designing new features. Think about, is this still easy to learn? Is this still the PDK that we know? And are people going to be happy about it? And I'm really thankful and happy that we've kind of nailed that so far with new features that we've done. People have been saying it feels very PDK. It looks like PDK. And so, yeah, it's really really cool. But it is a challenge. It's definitely a challenge to stay focused on ease of use and all of that while, building something new.
Yeah. I mean, so right now at PDK, we are in the middle of beta testing arguably one of our biggest updates that we have had ever. And we are really, really excited about it. We're not going to tell you exactly what it is yet, but it's been a lot of fun. But with that, it did require some pretty serious overhaul and additions to our software.
Yeah.
And so what Cope has been able to come in and do and be able to create new dashboards, new pages, adding things to current pages has been really impressive because it's brought in a lot more robust features and a lot more capability, but still feels like PDK.io.
Yeah. And that was the challenge for sure. And that was why it was so important. Like when I first got here, I wanted to just understand why. I knew people loved PDK.io and I knew they loved PDK, but why? So that I could make sure I hit those points as I'm designing.
Yeah, you don't want to lose that.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to lose the kind of forest for the trees kind of a thing. And so, yeah, I've made sure to focus on the grand scheme of PDK. What do people like and everything. And so when I talked to users, they were all about how easy it is to set up and how easy it is to navigate and how familiar it feels. And I think we've done a really good job keeping that around for sure.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I've been meeting with people all week, and that's one of the same things that they say all the time is it still is PDK.io.
Yeah, definitely. And
so, it's good.
Yeah. I mean, I think PDK has a lot to grow, a lot of room to grow. Sure. And I think it's going to be awesome to keep pushing it. And we'll make sure we keep it PDK, and keep it easy to use and exciting. And yeah,
our roadmap looks a lot of fun when you're looking at it.
Yeah.
And looking at everything that we want to do, that we have coming up, it's going to require a lot more design, a lot more additions into the software.
Yeah.
But trust me, we are gung-ho and we are just set in stone that we are going to keep PDK.io simple to use and keep it as an experience that somebody who has never dealt with access control before can get in there and still be able to function and move around and make all their adds, changes, deletes in 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, and that's something I think is really cool and critical about PDK.io is that it's so easy to make changes, big changes, quick changes, and you're able to get in there and know what you're doing and not get lost. And it's a great product, and I'm happy to keep that flame alive with PDK for sure.
Dude, we love what you've been doing. It is so good looking, and it works so well. And it's fun to be able to test all of your different things that you're doing. And I'm excited hearing. I actually heard today, and Brad may have talked to you about this. We had one of our meetings today talk to us about the way that you were using fonts on certain things. In this new update. Did he tell you about that?
Yeah, I was really stoked to hear
it. It was cool because when we saw it the first time, there were some questions about using that style of font and whatnot. And we were like, well, no, this is the reason why we're doing that. And it was reiterated today in one of those meetings when we were showing it off that they loved that. So,
yeah. And like that validation is exactly what we're doing.
Well, and that I think the reasoning for doing specific things, and even, UI UX even goes down to fonts.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
It's not just the way that an icon looks. It's not just the way that the app functions. It's what does a font trigger us psychologically to do or to think about?
Yep, absolutely. I mean, people perceive whether they know it or not, better looking products to be more usable, more user friendly, and better experiences. Even if they objectively do the same thing, if a product looks better, it feels better, you're more likely to use it, remember it, etc.
Yeah.
And we think about type all the time and typography and font and what that means, the hierarchy of it. Yeah, like every detail of PDK.io is completely designed and thought through like that for sure.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Everything has a purpose.
Everything. Even the parts that people may not love, we'll get around to it, but there was a purpose.
There was a purpose originally. Yeah. And so, we've got some other really cool things on the roadmap coming up. Sure. So definitely be looking for that. We're gonna be showing those off very soon for you, and we are very excited about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
So, okay, so outside of creating amazing experiences in PDK, What else do you like to do personally?
Yeah, I mean, I love to play golf.
Do you really?
Yeah.
So we just went to Top Golf. We just got back. We try to go once a month as a marketing team.
Right.
And we do it just as team building. And we have a glass trophy that we pass around for whoever wins.
Mm-hmm.
And Jace, our art director, that dude has won 4 times in a row, and it's been ridiculous. But Jordan stole it today. Way to be Jordan behind the camera. He's excited about it. So it was the most intense, heated Top Golf event that I have seen yet. It came down to Jace won the first game, Jordan won the second game, and then we did a playoff between the two of them. And it was so heated and so close. It was like, dude, it was more interesting than like any sporting event I've watched this year.
That's awesome.
So it was fun. So you like to golf?
Great.
That's cool.
Yeah, love to golf.
Dude, we should do like a team bonding with your team where we have you and Brad come, because I know Brad's a huge golfer too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And you guys are expanding your team like crazy too.
Yeah.
So it'd be fun to go and do a joint Top Golf
Yeah,
event.
I'm getting that glass trophy.
Yeah.
I need some hardware for my desk, so let's do
There
it.
you go.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anything else you like to do?
Yeah, I mean, I love to hike with my dogs and my girlfriend.
There you
Take
go.
our dogs hiking all the time. I love to cook.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
That's always tricky. I don't know. I've been making a lot of soup because it's cold out.
Dude,
so
I just did a chili last night for the chili cook-off.
How'd you do?
Oh, dude, I came back with like 1 serving. So I think that it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made like 16 servings, and everybody was like doing like a quarter of a serving so everybody could try some.
Yeah.
And people kept going back for mine, so it made me feel good.
There you go.
So
Nothing like chili and Halloween.
I know, right? It just like goes well together.
Oh,
I love
that's
soup
awesome.
season.
I know, me too.
This is like my absolute favorite season right now.
Yeah.
I love fall.
Yeah, same. Football, cool temperatures. Couldn't ask for
Mhm.
anything better.
So good, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Well, dude, thanks a ton for coming on this week's
That
episode.
was awesome.
It's always good having you and talking about our product and why people love it. You know, people have always said that they love it. Now, this is the man that makes it so good. Now you guys can understand a little bit. But anyways, thank you everybody for tuning into this week's episode of the Big Access Podcast. If you have not already done so, be sure to subscribe, leave it a 5-star rating, and let us know if there's anything in particular that you guys are looking to learn. Anyways, thank you guys. Cope,
Cool.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you, man.
And we will see you guys next week.
Sweet.